everyone, and welcome to Parenting in My Pocket, episode 16 we're on. We're ploughing through these each week. Thank you very much to everyone who's tuning in each week. It is great. I love it. I really enjoy doing this. Today we've got a couple of questions dealing with, I suppose, Christmas challenges that we might face as parents. So we've a couple of questions that will hopefully spark some thought for you guys and hopefully give you some insight into how you can maybe manage things for your families while you're at home. I hope you've all been keeping well. Our Cyber Monday sale went pretty well, which was great. And we're hoping to have some new courses. I had some conversations today about some new courses we're going to bring to our Teachable school in the new year. So I'm really excited about that. What else has been going on? It's been pretty busy. A lot of anxiety out there. Again, a lot of people coming looking for me to work with their children and with themselves around anxiety, and we're managing that, and it's working relatively well. So, if you do know anyone who is having to deal with heightened sense of anxiety, get them to get in touch and we'll get them sorted. Hi Louise, I hope you're well. I was about to say good morning there. As always, yes, you can buy your signed copy of Parenting in My Pocket. If you don't want a signed copy, you can just buy it from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Waterstones, wherever you get your books. You can get a copy. An apology for the Parenting in My Pocket podcast, the one that came out last week, that had a duplication of myself and Mary's discussion from the previous week. So that's been changed. So if you want to go check out last week's episode of the podcast, where we talk about, I think it was limiting beliefs or something like that, something along those lines. Anyway, we had originally put one out that had a duplication. That's been changed, so you can check it out in the Parenting in My Pocket podcast. And thank you to Jennifer, who's just popped in, for pointing that out to me, because I'd missed it. So you can go and check out the new one. Plus, I think the latest one has been released today. If not today, it'll definitely be out tomorrow, with more great insight from Mary. You guys seem to be enjoying her ability to make things make sense. That's what I like about it too. It makes sense to me, and I learn. So I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I get to learn from such a brilliant person. There's nothing else really to say to you guys, I don't think. No more updates. Buy the book for somebody that you love. It is the gift that they will appreciate more than anything else. And check out our mini courses. Get a good result from them. So we're going to crack straight into these because I want to give them as much time as I can. Myself and my 3 children are so excited for Christmas this year. They are 6, 8 and 12. We've all been involved in getting the house all decorated and set up, and have been making our plans for during the Christmas holidays, like what movies we're going to watch on what days and that kind of stuff. When we might get to see family and friends and so on. The children's dad and I have been separated for 3 years, and he has had literally no involvement with them at all since he left. He had an affair and moved in with his much younger girlfriend. I was so hurt at the time, but through counselling I've gotten over it, and I've just been living life with my children. Their dad recently got back in contact, looking to arrange to see the kids over Christmas. I was really surprised to hear from him, and when he called, he acted as if he had just popped out for milk and would be home soon. He started talking about all the lovely times we had together as a family, and maybe we could arrange a day out over Christmas for all of us. I actually didn't know what to say. I said to the kids that their dad wanted to see them, and they all said no, that they didn't want to, and that they just wanted to stick to the plans that we had made. How do I bring this up with him without hurting him or forcing the kids to see him? I'm also worried that old wounds might open up for me too. Wow, that's a really tough one to try and manage, because there's so many different elements going on there. As you say, you have your own potential hurt that has been worked on, and it might not come back. So you might find that you are actually, that having the counselling actually gave you the skills to be able to manage it within yourself. I suppose the big challenge for you is going to be the kids. And this is one of those really challenging situations because dad disappears. And the kids have gotten used to. So while you got used to living your life with your family and just bringing up the kids, and you've become your own little family now, and then dad has disappeared, and then come back in, and he'll say he has rights to see the children, and they're his kids, and they have a right to see their father, and that's absolutely true. But one of the challenges for separated parents is that dipping in and out, where there's no consistency and no structure for the kids, and it provides instability for the children at a time when they need stability most. So your children have gone through their parents separating. They've probably grieved the loss of a father who disappeared out of their lives. And then they have the pandemic to have to put up with as well. And then all of a sudden dad comes back in as if nothing has changed, or he hasn't been gone for the last 3 years. And that's a major challenge for the kids to actually have to deal with. So it's okay for you to let the kids lead this. Okay? And what I mean by that is that if they really don't want to, well then I would say to them, okay, I will absolutely back you guys up. The biggest difficulty will be going back to him, and that's the question. How do I go back to him and not hurt him? Well, you won't be hurting him. You won't be hurting him. The children won't be hurting him. The situation that he created will be what has hurt them. Not anything you've done. Not anything the children have done. The situation that he created will be hurting them. And it's okay for them to say, I don't want to see them. And it's okay for you to go back to him and say, look, you've kind of been gone out of the kids' lives. They're going to need a bit of time to get used to the idea of having you back in their lives. And jumping straight back into us having days out together, or jumping straight back into them spending time with you or seeing you. They're just not there yet. They just need a bit of support to get used to it. And how we can both support them is by giving them that time. Now maybe what we start with is a phone call, a video chat, to just start the process, so that they are all of a sudden going, okay, well, there is my dad. And there might be a little part of them kind of curious as well. And what they might do is might try and protect you by going, no, ma'am, our family is our family, and dad hurt you, so we're just going to just stick with you. But in the back of their mind, they might be going, well, I wouldn't mind actually knowing dad, because I do have some nice memories of him as well. But they may not verbalise that. So maybe go back to him, explain that the kids have been struggling and they've gotten used to not having him in their lives. So they're not comfortable just jumping straight back into seeing him and having that time together. And that you're clearly certainly not comfortable spending time with him either. And that's okay too. You don't ever have to spend time with him again. And he may try and guilt you into saying, well, what about the kids? Don't worry about that. Well, not that you don't worry about it. You'll worry about it anyway. But just know that if it's not okay for you, that's all right. That's absolutely all right. And then what I'd say to you is, sit down with the kids and say the same to the kids. I completely hear what you're saying. And it's all right for us to start to take time, because maybe having dad back in your life might be okay. But I'm not going to just throw you back into having to spend weekends with them, that kind of thing. Let's just start by giving them a call once a week. Or maybe just on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve or whatever it might be. And you may need to say, look, this is something we're going to do, so the expectation is that you're going to sit there and have a conversation with them for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it might be. But that's all we need to worry about now. We don't need to worry about meeting up. We don't need to worry about 10 months down the line you going for sleepovers. Let's just bring it back to, maybe dad has changed. Maybe he's okay. Maybe he's in a better headspace to start to be the dad that you need him to be. They may say, we don't need him. And that could be a real situation. And if it is, acknowledge it. I understand that. But maybe having him in your life will be better. So let's just explore it, and just start from there. Now, that's not to say that you go and say that to him and he goes, that makes perfect sense, I completely understand. He may not react like that. He may go, no, they're my kids, I want to see them. And that will be challenging in itself. And you may need to go, well, look, they're not ready to see you yet. And deal with whatever comes after that. And then with the kids, they may not go, okay, we'll talk to them on online chat or online video call. They might go, I don't want to. But you may have to say, look, let's just give it a try and see what happens. And if it doesn't work out, then we can reevaluate it and look at it again and see. But you don't need to change their plans, and it's okay to reassure them that you're not going to change their plans, that you guys have your plans and that's what you're going to do because you all decided together, and that's all right to stick to that. Now, you might get one child going, I'd like to see Dad. Can I go and see him? And deal with that. And again, you might need to reassure Dad that, look, one of them wants to see you, and it's going to be important that that's just all about them when you meet up, and it's not all about, what are the others doing, what's Mom doing, what, why aren't your brothers or sisters or whoever aren't here. Just be present for the child and let them know how grateful you are to see them, and that you just have something fun together. It's really challenging, and I don't envy you, and I wish I could give you a definite do this, and this, and this will happen. That's not the way it works, unfortunately. But I have no doubt that you'll manage it as best as you can, because you seem quite a resilient person from even just reading that email, that you were able to pick things up after he left and build a life, and relatively contented kids by the sounds of it too. Enjoy your Christmas with each other and take it at your pace and their pace, because while he is absolutely entitled to know and spend time with his children, and they are entitled to know and spend time with their dad, he has to be the one to make up for the hurt that they've experienced, and he's the one that has to work at their pace, because otherwise he's just going to damage his relationship with them even further. Now, you might have to manage the repercussions of that, and that's not fair, it's not right, but you're the one who's provided that structure and safety for them the whole way along, and I've no doubt you're not going to stop. You may want to punch the head off them sometimes, and that's okay, just don't do it. But just manage things for yourself as best as you can, okay? And good luck with it. So lots of people in the chat. Hi guys, I hope you're all sitting down nicely with a mocha. Good. And it's great that you're all here, really appreciate it. Lots of waves. Thank you. We won't delve into it. Right, second question for today. I'm a single mum, and my sister has been a great help with me and my son over the years. I work part-time, and she is married to a very successful guy, and money is no issue for them. I've been putting money aside for Christmas all year and got my son some presents that I know he will love. He had mentioned that he would like a PS5, but there was just no chance of me getting him one. Well, it turns out that my sister managed to get one for him. While I really appreciate the gesture, I feel that if she gives it to him, it will completely undermine the gifts that I have got for him. I work hard for every penny I have, and it means a lot to me to give him these presents. When my sister told me, I was quite taken aback, and she got annoyed at me because I wasn't jumping for joy, and she said that she could bring it back if she had to. I feel really guilty, but how can I get her to understand my point of view? She literally never thinks about money or where it comes from, and whenever it comes up about my financial situation, she just says, just ask if you need money and I'll give it to you. And this gets me so angry. Have you any advice on how I can get her to understand my position? And I still don't know what to do about dealing with her giving him the PS5. Wow. Again, really challenging situation here. It's clear that you work really hard, and it's clear that you have a very innate understanding of money and the value of money and the value of the gift that you're giving to your child, because it is more than just the gift. It is, here is the fruit of the labor that I'm putting in and saving and really putting time into getting the money together to get these gifts. So it means so much more than what the actual gifts are. It's what they represent to you and what they represent to him. When somebody has a lot of money, a lot of the time they actually just want to share that with their family. And money is such a difficult and challenging divider, because you will have people who, well, here we have siblings, one who has a lot of money and another who doesn't have a lot of money. And this sibling who has the money actually just wants to share that with the rest of the family. But there can be a lot of pride wrapped up in it for both people. And it's clear your sister was disappointed and hurt by your reaction, and that's hers to own. That's not your fault. And I completely understand why you reacted the way you reacted, because it's completely understandable that there's a good chance something so big and extravagant, like, you know, PS5s are not cheap and even getting one is not easy, that will most definitely take up the excitement for your son. So look, decide for yourself, are you okay with her giving it to him? Or is it something that she can hold off and just give it to him as an aunt, maybe in a month or two? So it's not jumping in straight away and going, here you go, this is so much better than the gifts your mum has got you, right? And that's not her intention. Well, we're going to assume that's not her intention. Her intention is just to share her wealth with you guys. So maybe ask, could she hold off, and just explain to her that it's not about her. It's about you and the value that you place and what these gifts represent from an emotional standpoint to you. It's not that you are buying him a very expensive present. It's that the work that you've put in to get it and the sacrifice that you've made, that's what's important. And she is going to get to give him the PlayStation, but maybe just hold off a bit. Now, you might decide, well, okay, that's going to cause more arguments. And maybe it's up to you to just go, do you know what? I'm just going to leave it as it is and let her give it to him and let him enjoy it. Because his enjoyment has nothing to do with my pride or how I feel about the representation of these gifts that I'm giving to him. So maybe, you know, you can settle that within yourself and go, well, it is what it is. And he will appreciate your gifts. He absolutely will appreciate your gifts because they're coming from you. And he loves you more than anybody else on this planet. And that's never going to change. Like, it's not going to change. All the gifts in the world from your sister is not going to change the fact that he loves you more than he loves her. So maybe you can settle it within yourself that, do you know what? Yes, he can have it. Yes, I'm going to manage this myself and go, I'm okay. The gifts that he's getting from me are important, and there is a lot of value in that, and the gift he gets from my sister is what it is, and that's okay. But if not, speak to your sister and explain to her that, look, this is why these gifts are important to me, and this is why I want to maybe hold off giving him the PS5. I really appreciate you doing it. It's such a generous gift. It's a really generous offer, and you know, you obviously went to a lot of trouble to get it for him, so I really do appreciate it. I just need you to give it to him a little bit later and see what she says. And if she's really disappointed, again, that's hers. And if she ends up saying, look, I'll just bring it back, it doesn't matter, again, that's her choice. That's not your choice, it's her choice. But then there could be a further conversation, not right now because you're both going to be raw, but a further conversation around the value of money and how it's different for you guys. And that's not an easy conversation to have, but just from the perspective of, look, we're both in financially different situations, and that's just the way life is. I'm not going to come looking to you for money, and I don't need you to be buying stuff for me. If I need something, I'll ask for it. But I like the process of getting my money together and getting something for myself. But if I am stuck, I will come to you. And let's just leave it at that, because I don't want money getting in the way of our relationship, because you're sisters. You clearly have a pretty good relationship. And that's what's most important. And if you come from that perspective, I don't want this coming between us. So let's just put it to the side, not bring it up. And when it comes to buying gifts for each other and for my child, and I don't know if your sister has any children, maybe we stick to a budget, going forward. And she might say, well, I have that extra bit of money. That doesn't matter. I completely understand. But just for right now, maybe we'll stick to a budget of whatever, €50, €100, €150, whatever you think you can manage. And say, look, when he's older, you can take him to Disney World. You can fly him first class, whatever it might be. Just for now, let's just stick to a budget. And that's much easier conversation to have, maybe in a few months' time. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Thank you all for your comments. Please do check out the podcast, Buyers of a Book. And we'll see you next week for the last one before Christmas. Yeah, the last one of 2020. What a year it's been. It's going to be an interesting one next week. All right, guys, you take care.